Hello and welcome to the show. We started this week's FailRace episode on GTA 5 with Danger Man racing in the Arena Wars. When trying to scoop another vehicle out of the way, an explosive rollover takes place. Turns out, yeah, explosions have an effect, a FailRacey effect, on cars continuing to race around. Stinty Boy up next on GTA 5. Now this is one of the brazen specials from streams. There is a very, very high speed crossover coming up. The boost pads can cause all sorts of chaos, and Stinty was a little bit unlucky. Incoming vehicle fires into the side of it. The offensive blue machine soars through the air and gets parked. Perfectly wedged in the containers. You couldn't do that one if you tried. Kit up next on GTA 5 is trying to help deliver the RV as quickly as possible by pushing it with the good old Jukes of Death. Vaguely valid tactic. However, the difficulty for the RV and the difficulty for the push car is you can't really see what's going on ahead of you, and well, the RV takes out a bike. And the bike has other ideas. It's the second explosive rollover for the day. I actually think these are baddie bikes trying to shoot at them. So, yeah, it turns out when you hit the bikes hard enough with the RV, now this from the RV's point of view, again, it's being pushed along at a decent speed. It doesn't really get much time to see a bike there. Goes across it, bike goes underneath, explodes. A lovely front flip. A 9 out of 10 landing. A little bit of a clonk on the nose, but still, very good going. Diamond Miner up next on GTA 5, with the game struggling to load in the scenery. Now, this happens from time to time with games. However, watch for the vehicle in the distance that is spinning and eaten. All that remains is the, I think, rear bumper. Turns out the floor was rather hungry. Although, as far as weird things GTA is doing, Nethercap does slightly win. This is with a lagging out online session. So, obviously they're struggling with internet connection at the moment, and the game has decided the best idea is to fling cars about around the place willy-nilly. Kind of like Carmageddon, only not quite. They're a lot more vicious in their actions, unlike the Carmageddon one, and they kind of go off upwards quite a lot. That was literally a rocket take off there. That was a fire straight up into space. There's more exploding things going on. There's bits of bumpers soaring through the air. Now, some of the vehicles don't ping off within distance. If you try and drive them, then they freak out and glitch out. Yeah, that's not going to be particularly helpful. There's an ingot stuck in a wall. There's something else has freaked out over that part. More cars just blink in and out of existence. The Fusillade blinked itself across the road. One of the few cars that hadn't completely got obliterated got rocketed for good luck and everything. So it turns out GTA 5 could be quite weird. Evil Sigvard up next on Horizon 4 is waiting to do a Forzathon event when all the cars in the car park start moving. I mean, I've played a lot of Horizon 4. I can't say I've ever had this many AI vehicles for no good reason decide to wander across the car park. The Fiat does stop, but the Land Rover, that's just still going. No idea what caused that one. Quantum up next on Just Cause 4. Minding their own business, catching a ride with one of the aircraft just taken off from the airfield. Fair enough, we've all done that before while playing around with Just Cause. However, the pilot's not paying attention because, yep, that's another plane coming from the side that you don't see from that position, and that's a big mess. In fact, one of the bits of plane glitches its way through the floor and is having problems. I mean, Rico's fine. Rico is fine amazingly from all that, but not ideal, really. Greg, let's go up next on Far Cry 4. Was being, I guess, tailed by some baddies. Shooting and stabbing, get rid of them. A truck comes along, they want to stop, so it takes out the driver. However, the truck is having none of it. It spat out the driver, but the truck is going to continue to do its thing. Tries to do some donuts, doesn't quite get it right. Hits a cliff and falls over on its side. You know, that works. That works, I guess. Simpson fan up next on Battlefield 1 with plenty of things exploding around. I think it's a trade, in fact, that has exploded. However, it doesn't stay exploded because now it starts moving again. And the problem is that the train's not really on the rails anymore. It's kind of dragging itself along. It's then jumping about and bouncing around, not quite how it should. Bits take off, there's half a train still going along. It's all got very weird and all got very broken indeed. A T-Strike up next on Wreckfest finds out that hay bales are bad with a kind of monster truck modded looking thing. However, it's the carnage that is caused after their accidents that is mighty impressive. I mean, the road is blocked here. The road is blocked. A huge number of cars would have gone out from all of this. That's a big crash. And that is because, well, I say that is because the player clipped a hay bale and that started it, but there was a crash going on elsewhere. There's so many cars piling into this, and a lot of vehicles get quite heavily broken. If anything, the player car is actually quite lucky. It kind of gets bounced clear of a lot of stuff. Welsh Toast up next on R Factor, with Force India doing things a Formula 1 car shouldn't do. There are multiple flying Formula 1 cars involved in all of that. Yeah, things got a little bit strange. Things got very strange, in fact, going on here. So Toro Rosso takes out the rear wheel of the Force India. That goes for a roll. Toro Rosso goes for a roll. Sauber goes flying through the air as the Force Indias get together. Another one bounces up into the air. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. This is on board from the second of the Force Indias as they just spin around. Turns out, collision's a little bit funky. But the Sauber got away with this massive air time as well. There we have it. And finally, Mr. Lane on BeamNG Drive is playing around with the little Italian car. I can't actually remember its name, but a quite powerful all-wheel drive version. It turns out, this particular one, if you start spinning, it gets a little bit carried away. It's quite carried away, and it gets to a point where there's so many forces going on, the engine flies out. I mean, I've lost engines from cars before. I can't say I've ever seen a car do that one, and it flung its engine a long way. That really, really flung its engine out. So that's quite impressive. Quite impressive, I have to say. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.